Hello and welcome back to the OtherWordly podcast. I am your host, Pete, aka Palm Wondrous. Today is episode 17, and we are continuing our series of name deciphering. So before we get started, the letters of our name are symbols imbuing our personality with unique character traits, and its sound creates a resonant frequency, inspiring thoughts in those who hear it. Point being, our names mean something. And today's person of interest, Matthew Belair. Matt and I think, go back to about a little over 4.5 years ago, or maybe just over 4 years ago. He was somebody that I reached out to early on during my awakening. And I think, as most of us come to know, when you first go through that spiritual awakening and really start to reconnect with who you truly are, you seek out like-minded individuals or other people that you can see are at least sharing content that are in line with your new mindset. And so I stumbled across Matt's podcast, Mind, Body, Spirit, and quickly learned that he was very much in line with the direction I wanted to go. And essentially what he does is he invites guests that are sharing stories or content or science that really, I guess, pushes the limits of what we're currently being taught, really edging into metaphysical or consciousness and starting to intertwine, I think, the traditional physical sciences with some of these more metaphysical, energetic-based ideas. And so it was very interesting for me, and he really was a springboard for me learning about all of these other people sprinkled throughout the world that are really having these conversations and really pushing, like I said, the limits of what we've been told. And so I certainly have an appreciation for him. He's somebody that I've corresponded with a few times, and always enjoy sharing time and space with him. But let's focus on his name. So first name is Matthew, M-A-T-T-H-E-W. M is mental, A is not, T is vessel or game, again T is vessel or game, H is heightened, E is energy, and W is wave. Last name is Belair, B-E-L-A-I-R. B is being, E is energy, L is consciousness, A is not, I is incarnation, and R is return or reflect. So bringing it all together, with a mind free from material influence, your consciousness is not constrained by your vessel. So why did I suggest that? So if you look at his first name, I think you could break it down to as Matt and then Hugh. Matt, mental not, so that's really referring to the physical. T, vessel or game, again T, vessel or game. And so I'm still trying to determine what the double T, if it's significant or not, or if it's just suggesting the vessel within the game. I'm starting to believe that maybe it's referring challenge. So there's some sort of challenge that's underway, and so it's a physical challenge. And then Hugh, heightened energy wave. And so he has that innate spark within, that fuel, that fire within that is pushing him, and maybe pushing him to the limits of physicality. And I think that's probably very much true with if you knew Matt and his athleticism, that seems to be the case. And if you look at his last name, Belair, well, being energy conscious or consciousness, and then air, not incarnation, return or reflect. And so I think that's referring to his state of being, and the energy and the consciousness that is infusing his vessel is maybe beyond where his incarnation started. And so it's potentially subduing that programming that he, I guess, what he was conditioned to believe via the programming, as he was raised, and as he connected to his higher self, that started to, I guess, suppress that programming or dismantle that programming so that he could start to really tap into that true knowing, that higher self. And so, again, bringing it all together, I think it's very indicative of somebody that is not influenced by the collective, not influenced by the physicality, or at least has pushed the limits of the influence of what he's been conditioned to believe were limitations. And that's a result of that connection with the higher self. And so I'll end it there, short and sweet. If you found this content to be of value and like to help support future episodes, please consider joining me on Patreon at patreon.com/palmwondrous. And until next time, know what you stand for.